Hi, this is Anna Prosser for Kingston HyperX here at MLG Raleigh, the Summer Championships in 2012. I'm standing here with the ever handsome and so attractive and intelligent Geoff Robinson, aka EG.iNcontroL, the captain of Team Evil Geniuses. Geoff, give us the rundown of how this tournament went for you. We're on day 3 now, and then maybe kind of an overview of how your team did.
Not so hot for me. I played okay, so I was good. Didn't have a meltdown or anything like that. But results-wise, it's more of the same. Just a few rounds into the loser bracket before meeting up with a pretty good player and then losing narrowly 1-2. Bit frustrating result-wise. But for the rest of the team, it was pretty good. Greg and Huck seem to have put their winning ways back on track. Puma was deep in the tournament, had really tough opponents, but we're proud of him. He played well. And then introducing Suppy. Suppy actually lost 4 best-of-3s this weekend. And they were both, all 4 of them were to Huck and Idra.
The team kill curse of EG seems.
He lost another one. He lost Area Manon or something like that. He lost him too.
So, you mentioned to me that some of your losses, or actually I think only all of your losses, were based on a build that you had never seen before. And I'm wondering, that's something that doesn't happen in a lot of games. Starcraft has a tendency to keep reinventing itself. People come up with new strategies that change the way everybody else plays. But I've also heard a lot of people saying, we're kind of plateauing. Our viewership has plateaued. Maybe there's not as much hype around these events as there was. Do you think Starcraft is in danger of plateauing, or do you think it's always going to keep doing that reinventing?
Well, I think plateauing has an unnecessary negative connotation in this association because we've plateaued at a healthy, sustainable point. So it's when you say plateau, you're talking about usually you're talking about how something's not getting better and therefore it's bad. But with StarCraft, it's such a complex, difficult community/game that you can't really expect it to continuously grow because people are going to come, check it out. It's not their bag. They're going to go to something more simple like LoL, and that's where they're going to be because it's more casual. But StarCraft is extremely in depth and alienating in that way. So if we have enough people that keeps tournaments interested and we have a good audience, that's all we can ask for. If Harder Than Swarm can shoot, the audience numbers up, good.
So you don't think StarCraft is in danger of becoming like a Warcraft 3 where the pro scene basically becomes, non-existent?
No, I mean, Warcraft 3 had a 10-plus year tenure as a professional sport played around the world, so I don't know that we should worry about becoming Warcraft 3, but would the end of StarCraft 2 look like a Warcraft 3 scene where the pro gamers flew off to other games and the community died? I mean, in the gaming world, that kind of naturally happens usually, but in StarCraft, our expectation is a good decade of competitive playing, and I think that's an expectation people can have for StarCraft too.
So EG is, one of those forefront teams leading with new sponsors, new players, a lot of growth, a lot of hype. What do you think makes EG have that je ne sais quoi, that X factor, the fact that your team is not only surrounded by so much hype, but also so much scrutiny?
The je ne what?
Je ne sais quoi.
What is that?
It's a French word for the you don't know what. It's very refined. It's pretty.
We speak American, please. Okay.
Well, in refined company, most people would know what that means, but it's okay. I mean,
yeah, maybe there.
I can explain it to you more if you want.
You French people. What was your question? Why are we so good?
What makes EG under so much scrutiny as well as surrounded by so much hype?
We get to interview ourselves and ask ourselves loaded questions like, why are you so awesome? And then we get to put that on our websites and tweet about it to hundreds of thousands of people. And our sponsors like it because we're wearing their clothes and we're talking well. So, I mean, that's definitely a leg up. Other teams just kind of sulk into tournaments, don't win it, and then go home and practice more to not win tournaments. That's actually that got really pessimistic pretty quick. EG does very well because it's a well-rounded organization where we are geared towards trying to win tournaments by acquiring the best talent, but then also fostering talent by putting them in the best places to train. Certainly Korea is the best place to train, but also domestically preparing for MLG and keeping our sponsors on the home front happy with the Lair in Arizona. I think that's an amazing two-punch attack that is hard to match. And outside of that, our players are supported with the best peripherals from SteelSeries, but also they're paid really well. So they don't have this fear looming over their head that they're going to have to go back to school or get a job flipping burgers somewhere because they know that they're secure. So I think we put our players in the best places and give them the most support, which usually translates to results. Obviously, everyone likes to talk about how our results aren't the best right now, which is, we talk about this a lot, and basically it's because the expectation is that we win everything, and I'll never argue against that.
What about for you? You mentioned EG as the players are not only players but talent. You guys obviously with me do a lot of content, a lot of videos and things, and you personally have been talking about how you're going to expand more into the kind of that casting, that hosting world, something you're really good at alongside your playership. Tell us a little bit about what's coming up for you in the next months, years.
Well, EG's overall master plan is that we have the best in everything, and I'm the best caster and best host on the planet. So if I can already move into that and just start elbowing out people, kind of like Walmart. What I'll do is I'll keep my prices really low at the beginning, and I'll eliminate the competition just by sheer value of what I bring to the table. And then when I'm needed, I'll spike my prices up so high that I then close out tournaments, because they have to have in control there, but then they use their whole budget on me. And then I can pick or choose which organization I want to survive. And once we get into that position, we can start power playing, like leveraging for appearance fees for our players, finally getting Alex Garfield that golden Lamborghini that he needs to have to cruise down the streets of California. Word up to my West Side brothers and sisters. I can't come back from that one. Well, yeah, I'm going to be hosting and casting more because I really like it, and I'm getting older, and while I still have the competitive drive in me, it makes more sense to embrace the fact that I have more to give. And if that means that I don't practice 12 hours a day and only compete, but instead I do that and then also host and cast, then I think I'll do that.
So for those people wanting to support you in your quest to buy Alex that gold Lamborghini and, basically allow you to take over esports, what kind of things can they be looking for next from you and for your team? Where can they tune in?
Well, the beauty of it is they're already roped in. They can't actually stop. I mean, when you post on forums talking about how you don't like EG and how you won't buy their products, you're challenging people to then buy our products and intriguing them about the controversy of why does this person not like them, so they read deeper, but then they're on the forums and on the websites for our products, which gives them foot traffic and brings in money anyways. So, I mean, the beauty of it is even if you're listening to this interview and you find me really bad, I could just count the money I'm making off of you right now, actually. So that's pretty much the plan. The more people we can piss off, but at the same time intrigue because they think I'm joking or something like that the whole time, they're all becoming a part of our network. And eventually, like the plan is we rope in a media company like a phone company, and if we can track down where most of our supporters are and then funnel those people, like it's kind of like in Fight Club, like you have a silent army that does things for you. If we can unify them under one banner, Evil Geniuses, eventually we won't have to have people supporting our world domination plan just by fiscally purchasing and talking about us, but rather we'll actually arm them and equip them with probably mini robots powered by Intel, obviously the best processor in the planet, and then they can actually shoot like super focused monster. Like if you actually distill it down, have you ever been hit by a really strong super soaker? That shit hurts, man. So if you can have like monster, all right, made like a condensed, more acidic type liquid, that'd be really good.
Would you absorb it by osmosis through your skin?
It would burn through your flesh and kill you.
Okay. Well, we just have a few more questions. I know your world domination plan is going to take you away from us here pretty soon.
It's going on all the time. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, since you do have the time, we all know that appearances are everything in esports. Obviously, the collective mind is on fashion, and you are something of a style icon in the Starcraft world. So can you give us some tips on this season's hottest looks for Starcraft?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I think there's a few different approaches. Most of the Koreans feature children's pants worn. I wish I could keep that more straight-faced. Well, for most of the girls, it's about how much boobs you can show at the same time. Obviously, a lot of what they're going to say is going to miss the mark or sometimes randomly hit it as well. I know that Seltzer in particular has a really high percentage of randomly asking good questions, and if we can have something to focus on to get through what they're asking, that's usually a really good thing.
What about for males like you? I mean, like I said, you're kind of the icon. People look to you for style advice. So what would you advise the typical StarCraft player to do to kind of up his game in the fashion world?
Well, StarCraft 2 players they just have so much more swagger. I think the two ends of the spectrum would be like StarCraft 2 style, which is usually like designer jeans, well-fit shirts and clothes, or if your machine like Mickey Mouse apparel from a past that we don't talk about anymore. And then at the bottom of the spectrum is like Halo players. They usually come in wearing Stussy clothes, which was really big in the mid-'90s. Massimo, which then sold out to Target, so they lost all integrity they possibly could in the fashion world. Cologne, deodorant, these things are foreign, like they're weird words to Halo players, so that typically doesn't get accessorized. But just the sheer level of swagger that StarCraft 2 players wear and utilize at an MLG in particular, I think that's part of the reason why not only do we have the center stage now, but we actually have 2 center stages. And then Halo there's 4 stages. Okay, there's fighting, StarCraft, and then LoL. There's actually a 5th stage people don't know about. It's just not at any MLG ever right now. It's the 5th stage for Halo, and it's usually online.
All right. Well, like I said, we will let you go. Thank you for those tips on fashion. I'll certainly be meditating on them myself. Luckily, you have a lot of sponsors that allow you to have the top level accessories for your outfits. Yeah. Any of them you'd like to thank before we sign off?
Well, I mean, the way it works is that they give us so much money, and I usually am able to pool it together. And then what I do is I flip through magazines of what all the celebrities are wearing, and then I buy the one thing that's a little bit more expensive than what they're wearing. I just try to. I usually use Brad Pitt as a pretty good marker, and especially when he's not training to do a hippie movie. So if it's more of like a Ocean's 13 type thing where he's wearing really nice clothes, I'll ask my designer to find out what he bought, but then just like $2,000 more, just put it up a little bit higher. And I think that's the kind of swagger we're talking about when you talk about StarCraft 2 players.
Do you want to give any shout-outs to those sponsors who finance those outfits for you?
Oh, absolutely. In order of appearance, of course, we want to thank RaidCall, our title sponsor, a wonderful free-to-use voice chat program for the internet. Download it, try it out. If you don't like it, sorry you wasted 10 seconds of your life. If you do like it, you could meet your future wife or husband, depending on what you're into, sometimes a dolphin. For the rest of us, of course, it's Intel, Monster, SteelSeries, Kingston HyperX, Beyond Gaming, and Sapphire. They make it all possible. And I also want to give a big shout out to the people that don't do as good a job as them at sponsoring. I really feel like if you're the prettiest girl at the dance, you're only the prettiest girl by contrast to how ugly everybody else is. So big shout out to I want to thank them for making products just a little bit less than SteelSeries. And also, it's weird to thank Kingston for this, but at some point you have to let somebody else have a small percentage of the market, so it's tough. And then Intel, of course, I want to thank the Rudy story needs to be told. It was a great movie one time. Of course, not many movies end with the person that nobody expects to do well doing well, and then it's like a happy story. Oh, he went to the Notre Dame. It's really cool. But for AMD to consistently produce the 2nd, 3rd, or even sometimes the 4th best processor, it warms my heart, and it pads my wallet.
Well, I personally would like to thank Kingston HyperX as well, bringing me out to these events, allowing me to soak in the pop culture environment of these esports events, the important appearances, fashion tips from people like Geoff in Control Robinson. And thanks to you, Geoff, for spending the time talking to us, sharing a little bit of your insight, and we look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Yeah, boobs.